Welcome to the Global WarWatch Network. AI is reshaping the battlefield. There's no doubt about that. But the big question really is the Pentagon moving too slow to keep up with China? This question, it really sits right at the heart of this intense geopolitical competition for technological dominance, especially in artificial intelligence. AI, well, it promises to completely transform modern militaries, right? Enabling faster, more accurate decision-making based on just vast amounts of intelligence data. And that directly translates to increased lethality, increased efficiency in operations. So the central question we're examining today is whether the Pentagon's current approach to AI adoption is sufficiently rapid and effective, frankly, to maintain U.S. dominance, especially when you look at the accelerating pace of adversaries like China. Now, my perspective is that the Pentagon is making deliberate, necessary progress in AI adoption. It's carefully balancing innovation with, responsible integration.
I, conversely, am going to argue that the Pentagon is indeed moving too slowly, and that some pretty critical organizational decisions recently might actually be jeopardizing U.S. AI leadership in this crucial global race.
Okay, well, let's start there. Artificial intelligence holds truly undeniable transformative potential. We see it across all defense operations, really, from the details of procurement and logistics right through to the complexities of actual warfighting. And we have seen significant, deliberate strides in the U.S. approach. For instance, the establishment of the Chief Digital and Artificial Intelligence Office, the CDAO, back in 2021. That was a key step. This office, it was specifically created to streamline and really accelerate AI adoption across the DoD. The whole point was moving beyond those perpetually stalled prototypes and turning them into adopted AI-enabled tools for urgent warfighting needs. It was positioned strategically high up, reflecting its importance. And moreover, we've seen successful initiatives like the Combined Joint All-Domain Command and Control Program, CJADC2. This is huge, aiming to connect basically all military sensors data, decision makers across land, sea, air, space, cyber. CJADC2 has rapidly deployed validated AI tools globally. That demonstrates the Pentagon's capability to integrate AI effectively when it focuses. And crucially, I think, from the outset, the Pentagon has embraced human oversight and accountability frameworks. These are essential guardrails, right? Protecting against catastrophic risks and underscoring a responsible, ethical approach to AI development and deployment. So the recent organizational changes regarding the CDAO, I think they should be viewed as maybe a logical next step, aimed at maturing these AI initiatives within the DoD, unifying efforts for an AI-first push, rather than, hindering them. Pentagon officials have actually stated this won't create additional review layers or bureaucratic processes, but instead streamline the path to adoption.
I approach this from a very different angle. While AI's potential is clear, the current pace of adoption is, frankly, a critical national security concern. Rapid AI integration isn't just a nice-to-have, it's absolutely crucial for the U.S. to maintain its military advantage. The Pentagon, unfortunately, seems caught in what many analysts call a scaling trap. You see these impressive pilot results. Even using proven commercial AI tools, but they repeatedly fail to transition. They go from these small-scale demonstrations to widespread enterprise-level adoption. It just doesn't happen often enough. It's a fundamental disconnect, really, between proof of concept and actual deployment at scale. And a recent decision, for instance, to, effectively demote the CDAO from its C-suite leadership role, integrating it into the DoD's research and development shop, that's particularly troubling to me. This move risks creating new bureaucratic barriers.
It could potentially slow down critical administrative and budget processes that are, essential for getting AI out there. It sends a pretty clear signal, I think, that AI isn't yet considered ready for prime time for military-wide deployment. It pushes it back into sort of an experimental phase. And this contrasts sharply with China's accelerating pace of innovation and adoption. China actively subsidizes its domestic champions, engages in intellectual property theft, let's be honest, and leverages U.S. technology even to rapidly advance its military AI capabilities. So this paradigm we seem to be in, this 2 steps forward, 1 step back, it risks leaving the Pentagon understaffed and without the necessary modern AI tools to operate effectively against a very rapidly advancing adversary.
Okay, I understand the concerns about those organizational shifts, but let's re-examine the CDAO's realignment for a second. Pentagon officials have been quite clear that this is explicitly intended as an AI-first push. Their promise, as I mentioned, is that it will not create additional review layers or bureaucratic processes, but rather consolidate efforts. Remember, the CDAO's initial establishment back in 21 was precisely to move beyond those stalled prototypes, to transform them into adopted tools. The core focus, even with this change, arguably remains on maturing these organizations and ensuring that AI applications aren't just treated as, perpetual research projects. The stated goal is to unify and streamline efforts, not to fragment them, enabling adoption at scale.
I'm sorry, I just don't see how it's streamlining. The article by Radha Iyengar-Plum and Michael C. Horowitz, who know this space well, explicitly states this move risks doing the opposite of an AI-first push, taking the CDAO out of that C-suite leadership role and essentially subsuming it into the research and development branch that critically undermines its original intent, which was to facilitate adoption across the entire defense enterprise. It really does send a message, intended or not, to the military that AI isn't quite ready for prime time. This shift, it jeopardizes the very progress made in programs like CJAD-2 by potentially subjecting AI capabilities and policies to the normal, often slow administrative and budget processes that have historically held back AI adoption.
And when I say new bureaucratic barriers, I mean just imagine a validated AI tool ready for wider deployment, now potentially needing to navigate multiple layers of review from various R&D and acquisition offices, instead of having a single dedicated CDAO office with, real executive authority pushing it through. That adds months, maybe even years to the deployment timeline. It feels like a barrier being erected, not removed.
Right. I appreciate that perspective, and I agree that delays are certainly unacceptable. However, the intent behind this realignment, as articulated, isn't to add layers, but perhaps to embed AI more deeply into the DoD's fundamental structures, ensuring it becomes an integral part of how the department operates, rather than sort of an add-on capability pushed by one office. The idea might be moving from a specialized office promoting AI to ensuring that every relevant office is considering AI from the ground up. This structural change, while yes, perhaps initially perceived as a demotion, could be intended to build more sustained, integrated AI capabilities in the long run. It's about making AI part of the muscle memory of the DoD, if you will.
That's a compelling argument about embedding AI structurally, but how do you reconcile that long-term vision with the accelerating pace of our adversaries right now? The real U.S.-China AI race is about adoption, as the analysts say, and China's pace is undeniably accelerating. They are strategically subsidizing their domestic champions. They've done this in technology category after technology category for decades. They engage in IP theft. They actively use U.S. technology, often obtained through joint ventures or academic collaborations, that ultimately serve their military-civil fusion strategy to fuel AI adoption by their military. The Pentagon's continued sort of experimentation mode and this 2 steps forward, 1 step back feel, it feels dangerously slow in this competitive landscape. While we deliberate internally about organizational charts, China integrates. The article highlights that by slowing down now, the Pentagon risks making American drone and AI dominance far less likely. It feels like it's time to push the go button on validated technologies, not slow down for more internal restructuring, however well-intentioned.
I'm not entirely convinced by that line of reasoning, because I think it perhaps overlooks a crucial aspect of the U.S. approach: the Pentagon's unwavering commitment to human oversight and accountability frameworks. These aren't optional add-ons. They are absolutely essential, given the profound and often very sensitive implications of AI in military contexts. While speed is indeed important, Responsible, secure, and ethical integration of AI is paramount for long-term strategic advantage. Remember, even President Trump's AI action plan, while stressing American AI dominance was crucial, also stressed the need to expand AI adoption while appropriately managing risks. Our approach ensures that AI is developed and deployed responsibly, with guardrails in place to protect against catastrophic risks. I'd argue this is a strength, not a weakness in the long-term race for trusted, effective AI. A hasty push-the-go button without these frameworks fully in place could lead to significant, unintended consequences, eroding trust and potentially even compromising operations down the line.
I understand the importance of responsible development, of course, but the delays in scaled AI adoption are directly impeding the transformation of critical military functions today. Without AI tools to fundamentally reform things like procurement processes, for instance, the Pentagon risks ending up in the worst of both worlds. Let's be concrete here. Imagine contract generation, which currently can take weeks, right? Being executed in hours with AI-driven automation. Or predictive maintenance identifying issues in aircraft engines before they lead to costly failures, preventing critical downtime. Without scaled AI for supply chain risk identification, we remain vulnerable to disruptions and, potentially, adversarial exploitation. And add to that a shrinking Pentagon workforce, well, we're left without enough people to operate effectively using the old business models, and without the modern AI tools necessary to implement a new, more efficient one. This lack of scaled adoption means we're not just falling behind China, we're actively making ourselves less efficient and more vulnerable now. What specific scaled AI tools can you point to right now that are truly reforming our procurement, maintenance, or supply chain in a way that shows we're moving beyond this scaling trap?
That's a fair challenge, and you've certainly highlighted some vital areas where AI's efficiency gains are absolutely critical. AI indeed offers immense potential to enhance decision-making, operational efficiency, leading to, as we said, faster decision-making with greater accuracy. The Pentagon fully acknowledges this, and it is actively investing in AI tools, not just for warfighting, but across the board, including for procurement, logistics, intelligence analysis. Now, while I can't detail every single project here, I can point to examples like the continued expansion of CJADC capabilities. The validated AI tools there aren't just for frontline operations. They're also being used to optimize the logistical chains that support them, delivering precise and reliable effects. The development of AI for predictive maintenance, for example, is moving beyond just pilot programs and into wider fleet adoption for specific platforms. The challenge isn't really a lack of understanding of AI's potential or even a lack of investment per se. It's the comprehensive, secure, and ethical integration of these capabilities across an organization as vast and complex as the Department of Defense, ensuring they are not only effective but also trustworthy. We are moving beyond experimentation, I believe, focusing on practical, deployable solutions that directly address those efficiency concerns you've raised. It just takes time to do it right, at scale, in such a critical environment. So it's clear, the undeniable importance of artificial intelligence for national security and military capabilities, well, it cannot be overstated. We are navigating the inherent complexities of rapidly integrating such a transformative technology within a very large, very complex defense organization, and we're doing that while simultaneously upholding the critical principles of responsible and ethical use. This is, it's a delicate balance, certainly, and our deliberate progress is aimed at achieving long-term, sustainable advantage.
And I will reiterate the critical urgency I feel for the Pentagon to overcome its scaling trap and really accelerate AI adoption to maintain U.S. dominance in this global AI race. The pace of adversarial innovation, particularly from China, it demands a more decisive push-the-go button approach, ensuring AI is seen and, more importantly, acted upon as an operational imperative now, rather than allowing further delays or perceptions that it remains fundamentally a research project.
Right. Well, I think we'd both agree that the interplay between AI, national security, and international competition will absolutely remain a defining feature of the geopolitical landscape in the coming years, and it requires ongoing, thoughtful examination of all these perspectives found in the material. Thank you for joining us on the Global WarWatch Network. We really appreciate your time and participation in this very critical discussion. We encourage you to like, share, and subscribe to the Global WarWatch Network for more in-depth analysis. Please do share your thoughts in the comments section below and join us on social media. The links are provided in the description.